Hello ladies, gentlemen, and screwdrivers, I am Chains. Welcome to the Chains Project. Today's reading is Genesis chapter 18, verse 1 to 15, a son promised to Abraham and Sarah. I'm going to say Abram instead of Abraham so many times. The Lord appeared to Abraham by the oaks of Mamre as he sat at the entrance of his tent in the heat of the day. He looked up and saw three men standing near him. When he saw them, he ran from the tent entrance to meet them and bowed down to the ground. He said, "My Lord, if I find favor with you, do not pass by your servant. Let a little water be brought, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. Let me bring a little bread, that you may refresh yourselves, and after that you may pass on. Since you have come to your servant." So they said, "Do as you have said." And Abraham hastened into the tent to Sarah and said, "Make ready quickly 3 measures of choice flour, knead it, and make cakes." Abraham ran to the herd and took a calf, tender and good, and gave it to the servant, who hastened to prepare it. Then he took curds and milk from the calf that he had prepared and set it before them. And he stood by under the tree while they ate. They said to him, "Where is your wife Sarah?" And he said, "There, in the tent." Then one said, "I will surely return to you in due season, and your wife Sarah shall have a son." And Sarah was listening at the tent entrance behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, advanced in age, and it had ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman. So Sarah laughed to herself, saying, "After I have grown old and my husband is old, shall I have pleasure?" The Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Shall I indeed bear a child now that I am old?' Is anything too wonderful for the Lord? At the set time I shall return to you in due season, and Sarah shall have a son." But Sarah denied, saying, "I did not laugh," for she was afraid. He said, "Oh yes, you did laugh." So Abraham's just chilling in his tent on the nice hot day, and then these 3 guys come up to him, and Abraham's like, "Oh man, I gotta go hang out with these cool cats." And he runs over and is like, "Hey God, what's going on, man? You got 2 buddies with you? Awesome. How about you guys go rest by the tree? I'll go get you some awesome stuff to wash your feet and maybe a cake. Who knows?" So he runs back into the house like, "Hey sir, quick, God's outside. I want to make a good impression so I can get a pay raise. Make a cake. I'm gonna go get a cow." So then he runs out, gets a cow, gives it to the servant to chop up. Then he gets some milk and curds and the cut up cow and a nice beautiful cake that Sarah made and gave him to God and his friends, and waited for them. Is like, "You guys sure you don't want any like wine or anything cool? Because like we can get out the good spirits from like 1942. That was a good year, right? I think." And then as God and them are eating under there, one of the guys is like, "Hey Abraham, where's your hot wife, man? We want her to strut her stuff because we all know she's sexy." And he's like, "Oh, she's in the tent being a woman in the kitchen." And they're like, "Oh, well, in about a year you'll have a baby." And then Sarah was like, "Yeah, right. Whatever." And the guy was very confused because he was like, "Hey, Abraham, why is your wife laughing at me?" And Abraham was like, I don't know. She likes to laugh." And God was like, "Nothing is too hard for me to do. I can make any babies I want. You'll have a baby. Now stop laughing." And Sarah was like, "I didn't laugh. You hurt my feelings." And then God was like, "You laughed. It's not funny. Do I amuse you? Am I like a clown?" And then went into a whole Goodfellas bit. So first, let's figure out who these 3 people are. This is the very first inclination of there being more than one person around when God's there. And lots of people like to go, "Oh, it's obviously the Holy Trinity," or it's God, Jesus, and then Jesus' son, if that's something that can happen. Nobody really knows exactly who it was. Some people claim, oh, it's just 3 angels that were hanging out and they knew Abram would be good to steal cake from. Or it was just God and his 2 favorite angels. Gabriel's kind of a popular angel. And they came down maybe to just check out the place. Maybe they were hungry and the chef up in heaven was not doing a good job. Now Sarah laughing in this story is kind of important because she's kind of like, "Yeah, I can't have a baby. I've gone through menopause," which is what it means when it said that she's no longer going through the manner of woman. That means, she's having hot flashes and there's no more eggs down there to make babies with. That's a crucial part of baby making. So that if God actually does make a baby, it would be not going through the normal measures and it would be magic. Now what is the main point of this story? I'm pretty sure lots of people can guess what this is. Be nice to people. Maybe if Abraham was not awesome and like giving them the coolest cake and like washing their feet, they might not have gone through with the promise of making a baby for Abraham and Sarah. It could have been a totally different thing, and they were testing them to see if they were maybe good hosts and they were going to be good parents for the baby. It could have been a whole test kind of thing going on, even though it's not very evident. And this can be put into life. You're always being tested by pretty much everybody. First impressions are probably the most important thing in the entire world. If you don't make a good first impression, people are either going to think that you're really stupid, or a jerk, or you smell bad because you haven't been showering for a couple weeks because it's summer. Who needs to shower when it's summer? I'm not doing anything, Mom. So always at least treat people with dignity or respect or whatever you think people have as a base. It doesn't matter if they earn more, if they lose it, whatever, that's a totally different story. But always start out treating people as if they're actually people and not just the scum of the earth. That hobo downtown, he's still a people too, even though he smells like rotten cabbage and stuff. Don't just kick him. It's not cool. And that's it for this episode of The Chains Project. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And, you know, leave all your comments, questions, concerns, and corn down in the comments section below, or send me an email. I love them almost as much as cake. If anybody says the cake is a lie down in the comments below, I'll shoot somebody with a portal gun over and over and over and over and over again. And I was working on an outro, but I'm having my wisdom teeth taken out on this Thursday, which is day after day I'm filming this. So if it doesn't get put up soon, it's because I'm in pain.